Last weekend tested my abilities as a completionist. It was a very torturous thing to have to put myself in this situation where I forced myself to finish this movie so that I could talk about it in this video that you are watching right now. But this movie, Deck the Halls, was so bad. It has nothing redeeming about it other than Danny DeVito being in it. And I think what annoys me the most about this movie is how just like horribly cliched it is, and how there's nothing good about it. It's not really funny. It's not a good story. And you see, the worst part about this is a lot of bad movies with good actors is Danny DeVito is definitely trying. Matthew Broderick looks like he gave up right as soon as the movie started. Some context, by the way, because this is like I don't know how many takes I've done of this yet, but basically I started the movie at work with a friend of mine, and I was thinking about it. For whatever reason, I couldn't help but think about how bad the first 10 or 15 minutes of it was, that I had to watch it, I had to finish it, and just see for myself, does it have anything, was there even a remotely funny moment in it, or was there anything worth seeing it? And sure, there are some cute moments. Let me be fair. I should be more fair to even with movies that I hate. There are some like fun moments that I probably would have found funny as a kid if I watched it when it came out, or moments that feel very like Hollywood that just don't hold up by today's standards as well, and obviously probably didn't do too well at the time either. But what I mean is you can really feel. I hate when movies feel like it's a group of people making a movie instead of feeling like it's actually real people and this is all really happening. Everything I'm watching is authentic or whatever, feels like it's authentic and realistic in some way. But this movie, the worst part about it is how much it feels. You can feel like the crew and the production the entire time. You can feel like just how every bit of it is very like phony, I guess is the only word that comes to mind. Every bit of it feels like they didn't try at all, basically, is what I'll say. Excluding Danny DeVito, because he it feels like he at least tries in anything that he does, even the stupid Jersey Mike Subs commercials where he's wearing the fucking wig and dancing and shit. You gotta have a yes man. The Danny DeVito, my God, I love you to death because just how much of a yes man you are. And he's an example of why everyone should be. He said yes to this movie, Deck the Halls, which is just, my God, this hour and a half runtime felt like it was a lot longer. I was very high when I watched it too, just because why not? And that did not enhance. Normally that would enhance the experience of a bad movie, but it was just so awful that I hate that feeling when you're just like waiting for a movie to be over. It's how I usually feel when I watch like live theater or musicals or something too. But I hate that feeling of like when you're just waiting for it to end and waiting for it to get to the end. And there were a lot of moments where I was like, hopeful of like there are a lot of moments where you're just like, it feels like we're wrapping up, and then it keeps going. So the things that I really couldn't stand about it was just the cliche of like two neighbors like having discourse right off the bat and not getting along right away, and two different personalities clashing is like just something you see in countless movies in general. Definitely seen it in a couple of Christmas movies. But Matthew Broderick, I don't know. He's one of those actors where, like, if the writing isn't good, his like type of character, like his, I don't even want to say his acting, like his type, the person that Matthew Broderick's type is, just doesn't work sometimes if the script isn't there, or if he's I don't know. Every time Matthew Broderick was on screen in this movie, I don't even hate him. Like I like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I like him in certain roles. I even think he's like, the only person I think of when I think of like the Godzilla movie from '97 or '98 or whenever that came out. But yeah, Matthew Broderick is he's fine. Like he's not my favorite, but whatever, doesn't matter. In this movie, every single scene with him and every bit of him being on screen, I fucking hated him, and I literally wanted to rip my eyes out every single time I saw Matthew Broderick on screen. Not because of him, but because of like He was the worst casting choice for the type of character that they had. And whether it was just on paper and just the script was bad and didn't make the character likable at all, or it was just his acting that couldn't make him more likable. I don't know what it was, but like he is like the most unlikable leading character or whatever, supposed leading character. It's really, I guess, split between him and DeVito, but he is like basically portrayed as the main protagonist. Just Matthew Broderick just sucks in it. He's just the worst choice for it. They could have picked anybody with like just more charisma. Not that he doesn't have it. It's just I think by this time when he was like older, it's not like he's Ferris Bueller anymore. So anyway, that was one part of it. It was just the cliche and just the bad casting choice with that. Kristen Chenoweth as Danny DeVito's wife was pretty funny. He has like, two twin daughters, and it's just this like such like ridiculous like family, like very thrown together family. Matthew Broderick's family is like, cliche like teenage daughter and his son who's kind of, they paint him as like, oh, he's too smart and too mature for his age or whatever, and is just like depressed around the holidays for whatever reason. And I don't know, the wives, like Kristen Chenoweth's character and the actress from hold on, I have it right here. The actress from Sex and the City, what's her name? Kristen Davis. Their characters were so poorly written. Like it's hard to, it's already a challenge enough to make female characters that people don't want to just really rip to shreds just because people are, for whatever reason, so much more critical of female characters and just women in general. Women in general, but like it's already hard enough to make female characters likable that like the way whoever wrote the script made their wives so lacking in personality, so lacking in any depth at all. Like their wives are the most cliched, like, typical characters that we've seen in just every other fucking movie ever. But what else? So the discourse of just the whole point of the movie is Danny DeVito's character wants to get his lights seen from space, right? And just anything that he does, he goes out of his way stealing electricity from Matthew Broderick's family and doing all of this shit. And that's literally the whole point of the movie is he's obsessed with that and then stops paying attention to his wife and daughters and everything's just kind of whatever, falls apart in the end. That both of their wives, like, they play them up like they're leaving them, but really they just go and stay in a motel. And this is where like the worst part of the movie happens. They have all of the lights because Danny DeVito's character is like defeated and he realizes at some point that he can't get the lights to shine from space. I don't care if I'm spoiling it for you. You shouldn't watch this movie. If you haven't seen it, just don't watch this shit. But yeah, Danny DeVito takes the lights down at one point, giving up, like, oh, I'm just not going to get my house seen from space, like, fuck it. And then him and Matthew Broderick have a moment of like, well, you haven't tried everything, and then like they're thinking for a moment, and then literally what might have been maybe a few hours of time passes by, and they created an entire path from the motel that their wives are staying in with their kids. With their kids. They made an entire path of lights going from that motel all the way to their fucking house, which could be like 10 to 15 miles, where it's like a shitload of lights, basically, and how much time that would at least take like maybe a day or two. And in the movie, they made it look like it was just a few hours, like casual. Even if it was only like 4 or 5 miles, that's a lot of work, like so much work. Even if it was just a mile or two, that wouldn't be nothing to like make an entire path of lights, and because they're all done up like perfectly, like with like arches and shit. And I'm just like, no fucking way. And then the worst part of the movie, like, is just like the most corny shit is the ending, where you see why they put Kristen Chenoweth in it at the very end. I think all of the neighbors, like all of the people that Danny DeVito's character is basically super likable and Matthew Broderick's character isn't, and that was, I guess, why I felt that way. Is like I guess that was intentional, but even characters you don't like, you should still like subconsciously. I just hated Matthew Broderick's character. It says his name is Steve Finch. Fuck that character. I fucking no, but they basically because Danny DeVito's character Buddy Hall is so likable, Matthew Steve Finch, Matthew Broderick's character, calls up everyone, gets them to all to bring a bunch of lights back to Danny DeVito's place and get all the lights set up. And it's like a moment of them trying to get it to light up and be seen from space, and it doesn't work. Like something they played up, like it's all like it's just busted, or the power is just not there, or whatever the hell. And then they all end up like putting their fucking phone lights on, like the flip phones from the 2000s. They end up putting their like little flashlights on their phone and waving them around. And Kristen Chenoweth sings a fucking song to like try to. It's the most like forced. Oh, this is a sentimental moment of the movie. The most forced, like, thrown in, shoehorned in, like, moment that was just it's just very eye rolling. It's hard to not feel secondhand embarrassment for every single person involved in the movie. Basically, is what I'll say about that. So then they have her singing. Then Matthew Broderick's son realizes, oh, they didn't plug it in all the way. Again, another bullshit like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't plug it in. And then he plugs it in, and the lights blow up like really bright, and they're seen from space. Everyone, Cal Penn from fucking Harold and Kumar, like, is working at the station that can see that can see if it's showing in space, the lights or whatever. And this big ray of light just flashes off of the computer screen and like blinds everyone working there. It's just so stupid. It's very what I find really funny to compare this to was a review that I saw on IMDb about the movie Snow Day, which I would agree with the same thing about that movie as well. I think the title of the review just said very stupid even for kids, and I would say Deck the Halls is the same exact thing. Same fucking review title. You could literally use this. This movie is, and that's saying something. If even kids don't like it, for example, Cheaper by the Dozen with Steve Martin, the remake or whatever. Those movies are pretty fucking stupid, but I loved them as a kid. If kids don't even like it, that's such an epic fail. Such a big fail, because kids like anything. Like the Minecraft movie looks like stupid, but it's probably like perfect for kids. Like kids will love it, even though it's probably stupid for someone like myself. So yeah, Deck the Halls. That's like I guess all that I could say about it. Like one of those movies that with just like less cliches, better casting, better point. The movie doesn't have a point. I don't understand why it exists, other than There's one scene, before I forget, there's one scene where, like, Danny DeVito puts on, like, a light show with music and is, like, DJing with it or whatever. It's, like, syncing up the music and the lights. And it feels like the entire movie was just for that one scene, because that was the one moment where I'm sure that was, whether that was before or after starting to become a thing on YouTube, especially for people to, like, film their elaborate lights on their houses with synchronized music and post it online. That is so. Those are a dime a dozen now. But I think when this movie came out, I think the only point of the movie was for them to kind of show that off in this one like 6 or 7 minute scene where he's just doing this epic light show. And I'll admit, not gonna lie, that was like the best part of the movie. That's definitely like if you watch just that one scene, you it'd be like, oh, okay, that was kind of impressive for the time, or kind of just like an interesting moment. I guess that's what I will throw a bone to this dog of a movie with that at least it did the one scene that it should have done right. It did it right. You know what I mean? Unlike 50 Shades of Grey, that the movies couldn't do the one thing right. But either way, yeah, this movie is just it's one of those things that, like, you look back at the 2000s and 90s nostalgia and you're like, okay, yeah, no, not all of them, even because like even bad movies like Jingle All the Way have nostalgia going for them. Like, that movie has Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, you can't go wrong with Arnold. You know what I mean? Even movies that are like terrible, if he's in it, it's like I'd still watch The Expendables, even though those movies look dumb. I'd still watch them for Arnold and all the other guys from that era. You know, but well, all I mean is, like, even bad movies have something, like, usually can have a couple things going for them. This movie, other than that one scene with the light show, this movie has nothing going for it. It doesn't deserve your attention. It doesn't really. But before I forget, too, I really want to start doing this in my my review videos when it comes to movies and TV shows, especially. A couple things I always want to bring up is this a background viewing or is this a actually worth your attention viewing? This is a background viewing. Throw this movie on at a Christmas party so that you don't have to think about anybody actually, you're not going to lose anyone's attention to this, if you throw this on when you're having friends over is all. It's a total background viewing. Second screen viewing is what we'll call that. So there's second screen viewing, or does it require attention? That's, obvious. I've made it obvious which one I think it is. And does it deserve the IMDb rating that it has? It's got a 5.1 out of 10. That's spot on. That is a spot on rating. So yeah. Second screen viewing and IMDb ratings, whether it's accurate or not, is always those are the few things that I find interesting. The reason IMDb ratings are interesting to me too is because it is just like user based, and I assume the people that are reviewing these are people that are huge film lovers. People that are casual film lovers are not going to go out of the way to write reviews on here. They're not going to go out of their way to even like do the star rating maybe. And if they do, then they're people that like movies. Like all I mean is the people that are interested in movies will obviously go out of their way to do that. And not only that, but IMDb's like top 250 is what's led me to some of my favorite movies and TV shows of all time. And most of the time it is pretty accurate. Besides a lot of the Marvel stuff, that stuff is, any of the nerd shit is always going to be like hyped up on there. So all those are kind of a little overrated, but like I don't think Endgame and Infinity War top 250 movies of all time. That's just my personal opinion. These movies aren't bad. They're just not. They're not like Schindler's List or anything by any. They're not like groundbreaking, like required cinema before you die kind of thing. But yeah. So anyway, you obviously can tell how much I'm interested in movies, how much I like this stuff, and I like movies so much that I'll go out of my way to watch something like this just to say that I watched it. Movies at some point. You do have like a bunch of like boxes that you're checking off. Like I have a ton of movies that obviously I should have watched instead of this, but I'm a completionist. I started it at work and I couldn't help but finish it because me and my buddy making fun of it for the first 15 or 20 minutes, just something about that. I don't know, like let's see if this bad movie has some charm to it anyway. And it didn't. It didn't have anything. It had such a lack of soul, a lack of anything. This movie is might as well. It feels like it should be on like a Disney Channel original movies sort of thing, but it actually got like a full theatrical release. It doesn't deserve like a theatrical release. Like this should be like a straight to DVD kind of flick that you find for like $5 in Walmart now. Like prices now, it's like a $1 movie in the Walmart bin. And even then, it would probably just be to add to your DVD collection and not ever actually watch it. You don't even care that it works. You just want to have a display copy. That's how I look at this. It's like, oh yes, I own like basically every Christmas movie. Let me add this movie to my collection. That's what Deck the Halls is. Other than that, you've seen this movie already. That's what I'll say. You've seen Deck the Halls. Even if you've never seen it, you've seen it. And I guess that's it. Next Christmas, I'll watch. Maybe I'll do more reviews around Christmas time, even instead of like almost 2 weeks into the new year. But I wanted to do this. I was thinking about this and just had to find the right time where I actually felt like talking about it and wanted to make a video. Thank you to anybody watching these as always. I'll always be posted on this channel. Just I don't have the energy to do it all the time, every day or anything. But I can't do it, any more than I feel like doing it is all I'll say. But I'll see you guys around. If you guys are watching on here, I'll always be posting on here. And I seriously appreciate anybody checking these out. I love you all very much.